Today I want to talk to you guys out there that are in your late teens, early 20s, anytime in your 20s really, about your financial futures and about getting started extremely early. Because right now you all have kind of a double-edged sword in your hands. For one, you got a lot of time to invest your money, grow your wealth over time, but at the same time that ends up giving you a lot of complacency, that you have an unlimited amount of time in order to grow your money and grow your wealth. Now, like how a lot of folks are for their entire lives, I did this when I was younger. I would make money and then I would spend money. I would spend pretty much all of it on whatever it was, mortgages, going out, buying cars, buying toys, ATVs, things like that. And I really didn't save hardly anything in my teens and 20s. A big reason for that was a gigantic amount of complacency. I always had, the rest of my life to build my wealth and to make money. In addition, I found myself working in a line of work that had a pretty generous pension on retirement. So I said, that's going to take care of me for the rest of my life. I don't really need to focus much on investing. And these are the things that I got wrong early on in my life. I needed to recognize that there was always a few dollars in my budget that I could save and invest regardless of how little I made at the time. That is a powerful thing to think about for when you get paid, even if it's only $1 or $2 or $10 or $50, put something aside just to start that saving habit. So in any case, as the years went on, I started getting more and more concerned that my wealth wasn't growing fast enough. When I was looking at what my pension would pay out at the end of my career, that it was fixed and that there would never be a cost of living adjustment, which means that whatever I was getting when I retired would be what I would get 20, 30, 40 years down the road when inflation will have eroded a lot of the buying power of that. So I started getting serious about purchasing investment real estate. Mainly, I had spoken to a friend and we had discussed investing in real estate, and I had bought and sold a few rental properties in time. And then I said, I probably also need to get looking into the stock market and investing in stocks. Now, I'd had a couple of stocks that I invested on the side, some individual stocks, and I had also had some money that I played around with and essentially lost money trying to pick stocks. Eventually, when I got into my 30s, I started to purchase index funds, things that had long-term, broad-based reach and that I could leave in there and it would grow at a predictable rate, essentially forever according to the historical averages. So what I want to explain to you is what I wish I could do if I could go back and do it all over again, knowing what I know now and hopefully helping out you so that you can be in a better place than I am right now. Even though I'm doing great, and it's not that I'm destitute, it's just I could be doing much better had I learned these things earlier. If I could go back to my younger self, as soon as I was eligible, so at 18, I would open up a brokerage account. I wouldn't even really worry about tax efficiency at this point because it's just a matter of getting money into accounts for it to gain value over time and to get those good investing habits. Off of all of my paychecks or any amount of money that I got from whatever I did, I would put some of that aside. And it wouldn't even matter if it was a set percentage. Obviously, that would be very disciplined if you took a set percentage, but if you could just put, $20 out of each paycheck, $40. I did a video where you can put $40 a week into a index fund and become a millionaire in 40 years. That's the power of just putting a small amount of money into an account for a long period of time. After I did that, I would try to find a job that either had a pension, like I did out of essentially pure luck. I really wasn't looking for that in general. Or I would look for a company that provides a 401k with a match, and I would take advantage of 100% of that match. I would also start looking into tax-advantaged accounts, especially a Roth IRA that puts in post-tax dollars and then is able to grow over time tax-free, and then you are able to withdraw that money tax-free once you're 59 and a half. In addition, you can take out any contributions that you have made to that account without paying any penalties. So when I would start looking for a house, instead of purchasing a single family home like I did, I would look into buying at least a duplex or a 3 or 4plex with a 3.5% down FHA loan. I would then live in one side and rent out the other side, or floor or unit or whatever, or other units if it's more than 2 units, and I would use that rental income to pay for my own rent, my mortgage, and I would end up living rent-free. That keeps you from being underneath the weight of a mortgage right when you are getting, either out of school or right into the workforce, and it gives you some landlording and business experience. Once I was able to qualify for another FHA mortgage at 3.5% down, or if you just wanted to put 20% down and avoid the PMI, MPI, if I wanted to start looking for a single family home for just myself or my family, I would go ahead and do that, or get another multifamily and just kind of rinse and repeat that first strategy, depending on what you want to do with your life. If you want to live, in a single family home or a multifamily. But what I would do is I would hang on to that first one that I had purchased and rent out the other side as well. So now, if you have a 2-family, one side is paying for the mortgage and all the expenses for that family or for that building, and then the other side is now profit for you, and you may be able to pay for the mortgage on your single family house from the proceeds from this duplex that you bought with only 3.5% down. From there, really the sky would be the limit. That's where you got to start making some of your own decisions, and it's kind of where I am in my life right now. I have some rental properties, I have stock-based investments, I have pension investments, and so from here you just kind of got to decide, do you shove more money in stock markets? Do you shove more money into real estate? Your pension's kind of what it is if you have one of those. But that would put you in a much better situation than I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I would probably be much farther along my road to financial freedom than I am currently. So that's just some food for thought, guys, especially you younger folks out there. Really think outside the box instead of just taking the typical graduate high school, go to college, get a job, work it until you're almost dead, then retire for a few years and then be dead. Think about what you can do instead of that path that's going to make you happy, make you financially free. Because once you're financially free, you can literally do whatever it is that you want to do. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel where we're talking about all sorts of financial and personal finance topics, stock market investing, real estate investing, just general success strategies. Make sure you like this video for the YouTube algorithm. That really helps. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time.